Hey, folks, welcome to the latest Field Hockey with Hatfield episode on our Virginia Beach Sportsplex YouTube channel where we stream with you each and every week. It's Halloween. I didn't break out the costume, just have my World Series Diamondbacks hat, trying to overcome the 2-1 deficit they have in baseball in the Fall Classic against the Texas Rangers. Even got my nice new Arizona Diamondbacks sleeve jacket I'll be wearing later on as I bring you some middle school football action at the Plex. But as always, we're talking field hockey with you each and every Tuesday here at the Plex. This is episode 9, I think it is. I've lost count of how many we've done. We've got a special guest that will be joining us a little bit later on with Savannah Putnam, the head coach of Jamestown. So we'll make this a little snappy today as we go through some of the playoff brackets across the state and some of the scores that you'll be seeing scrolling across our ticker here as we stream with you each week on our YouTube channel with the Virginia Beach Sportsplex, also on Facebook with the Regional Training Center and the folks at Hometown Sports Productions from the Sportsplex, as well as on Twitter or X at 757 Sports Talk. But let's go through it. State tournament berths are being punched. Tickets are being secured across the state of Virginia. In fact, Western Branch, a winner over Cosby, doubling them up. The 4th-seeded Bruins will be taking on the 3rd-seeded Grizzlies in the Region 6A final. Cadence Holland, a freshman, supposedly had a couple of goals for Grassfield as they stunned Glen Allen. So it's an all 7-5-7 matchup in the Region 6A title game. And as we look at some of the brackets that'll be up here for Class 6, we go across the state just a little bit. We'll go through that a little bit and see that in Class 6 Region A, you're going to see that you've got a matchup with Western Branch and Grassfield, of course, but Region 6B will be taking on the winners there. So you're looking at the schools from the Prince William area, Freedom and Battlefield, going head-to-head tonight in a matchup there. Battlefield's the favorite, I would suspect. Stafford, who just shellacked Woodbridge 11-0, taking on Patriots. So you're possibly looking at, if I had to project ahead of Stafford, Battlefield, loser going to come to Chesapeake to take on either Western Branch or Grassfield in Class 6 for Region A. So there you have it. And it's going to be interesting to see what transpires for the rest of the state in Class 6. Apparently the share screen was not working on that segment of the edition here, but we will look at the fact that you have, there we go, we have it now. We'll give it to you, some of the share screen. I was looking at the Region 6B bracket. You have Freedom and Battlefield, Stafford and Patriot there for 6B as we look at that. And you look at the 5A bracket today at Green Run High School, Halloween action. You got First Colonial Cox. We saw this coming. Another matchup with these two. They played the Triple Overtime Classic. As you saw recently, Parker Roll was one of our Giardino Chicken Parm Player of the Week recipients. It's going to be a good one coming up here with FC and Cox. Don't be surprised if the Falcons get revenge. As far as Region 5B goes, what will transpire there, you're looking at Woodside and Moore. You're going to square off after Woodside beat Warwick. Morey shut out Granby. You've got Mitchville, Nansemond River. That's going to be a doozy of a semifinal matchup. And the Warriors blanking Norview 15-0. Menchville beating Kickintan 14-0. You feel like FC and Cox could certainly square off again in the state tournament. Now, we say that because you look at the state brackets across the state of Virginia for field hockey, you're going to see A and B on opposite sides of the bracket. Semifinals at Ocean Lakes, finals at Kellum High School. So they could meet in the championship game at 10 a.m. on November the 11th, which would be quite spicy, to say the least. We'll give you some more lowdown on 4A and Class 3A in just a bit here on our latest edition of Field Hockey with Hatfield. You see Ella Elliott had 6 goals, Aaron Pridgeon with 4, Lily Krikorian, daughter of CNU men's basketball coach John Krikorian, their national championship team, also had a couple of goals in that one. You've also got, besides the VHSL teams, you've got the TCIS quarterfinals going on. And in those matchups, Norfolk Academy breezing by Nansemond, Suffolk Academy rather easily 10-0. You had Cape Henry winning 3-1 over Hampton Roads Academy. Catholic 8-0 over Norfolk Collegiate, that was, as they look mighty, mighty strong. And you've got one more team, I believe, that won in that TCIS quarterfinals. Yes, Walsingham Academy prevailing in its matchup with Stewart School, 7-0, a hat trick for Haley Diggs as they were victorious in that matchup. So 3A, you've got a final there with Poquoson and with Tab. Poquoson avenged its loss to York thanks to a couple of goals from Grace Oates as they had to come from behind in that matchup. Remember, York beat them in a regular season, so that was a game that mattered there for Coach Darcy Chapese, who joined our show last week here on the Field Hockey Podcast. And good to know we weren't the jinx. As we mentioned before, Hatfield's not the jinx. That's my 757 Saturday Sports Talk co-host, Coach Young. He's the jinx. Don't talk to him. You might lose. You got to watch. You can't walk under ladders or buy black cats. You could have a bad Halloween or any holiday coming up with Thanksgiving and Christmas that'll follow there in November and December. But Poquoson and Tab are both headed to states, as are the ones that they beat, because that region, we'll show you that a little bit later on the third and final segment of the show, a little different how they do their brackets, because you don't have everybody from Class 3 on down across the state playing field hockey, a little more condensed, if you will. So Class 4 to finish up there. You've got Jamestown beating Churchland, not a surprise. They already played earlier this year, and you're going to be hearing from the coach of the Eagles, Savannah Putnam, whose team is going to the state playoffs in just a bit. And you have the favorite, Gloucester, Coach Joe Dougherty. We've talked with him before. His team is mighty, mighty strong and going to be hard to handle, as they look like a very, very formidable contender for the state championship in Class 4. They've got Jamestown coming up on Wednesday. So we'll take a timeout, though. We've got the Giardino Chicken Parm Field Hockey Player of the Week. This might be our final one for the season. Not totally sure, but want to thank Giardino for its support all year long of field hockey with us here for the 2023 season in Hampton Roads. But we will take a timeout, and we'll actually show it up on the screen here. Look at these victorious Eagles of Jamestown. They're so happy and thrilled to be going on to the state playoffs, as you see Coach Putnam and the ladies getting it done there. We're going to be talking with her in just a moment when we come back from the break, though. But right now, let's hear from a couple of our sponsors that make it possible for us to stream with you and do this podcast. And we'll begin things off during this break with the Drip Bar.
Treat yourself to a visit to the Drip Bar IV hydration and vitamin therapy in Virginia Beach. Boost your immunity, increase your energy, and promote anti-aging with our personalized treatments designed to ensure efficient nutrition absorption to rejuvenate your mind and body. Come see our chic and relaxing day spa for yourself today. We welcome walk-ins and appointments. Our medical professionals will help you achieve your best health and answer all your questions. The Drip Bar at Lansdowne Commons in Virginia Beach.
After more than 50 years of innovation, AstroTurf still leads the way. The inventor of artificial turf does it all, right here in the USA. We engineer, test, manufacture, and install the world's most innovative fibers and turf technologies, with over 30,000 tracks and fields worldwide. AstroTurf, powered by Sport Group.
Well, it's everybody's favorite time of year again. Time to prepare to make your annual donation to that infernal revenue service. And if you're like me, you need help. Help to keep that donation as small as possible. So get off your W-2 and call John Maynard at John's Tax Service. 455-6763.
And welcome back to Field Hockey with Hatfield at the Plex. Matt Hatfield, pleased to be joined by a special guest. She is the head coach at Jamestown High School, state tournament bound, as the Eagles were victorious in the semifinals in Region 4A over the Churchland Truckers. They're getting ready for a matchup coming up in the championship game on Wednesday, November the 1st at Gloucester High School against the Dukes. We say hello and congrats to Coach Savannah Putnam out there. Coach, great time of year here. It's Halloween. We're turning the calendar from October to November, and your squad's going to the state playoffs. So congrats, and you got to feel pretty good about this team.
Yes, thank you so much. So it is actually my first year coaching high school, and we're going all the way to states and finals. And our team is pretty much based. We have about 5 seniors, but almost our whole team is filled up with freshmen. So we have a really young varsity. So these girls have tried super hard. We practice all the time. We have been conditioning since July, August, and we've been in the weight room. We've been really taking this time to prepare for this time, and we have really put in the work. These girls have really tried so hard to be where they're at, and they deserve everything. And they work as a team, and I could not be blessed and honored to have a better team.
That is so awesome. And to be going to the state tournament with this group, Coach, you mentioned with so many freshmen, underclassmen on the team. Before we get into your background and how you got to Jamestown High School in your first season at the helm, give me a sense of what your expectation was coming in, because you're brand new, a lot of new faces. And I know there's some good field hockey there in the Bay Rivers District. You got some teams playing for a championship in the region coming up in 3A with Pocosa. We had on Darcy Chapazzi last week. Wendy Wilson's a legend at TAB. So you're going to get tested about this. Did you have a sense that this group was pretty good? And was there a specific turning point you look back on that this team accelerated that process a little bit?
I say these girls, they put in the extra work. They really take that extra mile. Our girls will go and practice on the weekends. They will set up times together and do outside. We also do outside conditioning. So we also do, we do like clinics, we do camps, we do extra leagues that keep us ahead of our competition. So we have all of that. And then when I came in my first year, I knew exactly what I wanted. So all these girls, they knew my expectations. I wanted a hardworking player, somebody that was committed, somebody that is always staying on task, and somebody that has the passion for field hockey and wants to go far. And I can tell you all these girls, every single 20 of them, they want to.
That's terrific. Now tell me about that 5-0 shutout win you had in the semifinals on Monday against Churchland. What worked well for you and who stood out and allowed you to punch that ticket to the state tournament if you can?
So that was awesome. We have actually played Churchland before, and we beat them. Yesterday, we took off. We usually don't play on grass, so we're usually on turf, but we went in and we felt the field out, and I know Churchland was ready to beat us, but we came in and we started getting our goals. The girls found their rhythm. 4 girls that really stood out to me were 3 of my midfielders. I have Sydney Fulmer. She's right mid. My center mid is Madeline Buckley. My left mid is Amelia Gledhill. And then my left forward is Alexis Lee. Those girls, I felt like they really shined out there. They really carried the field, and they worked on their transitions really well. So they definitely, and all of the girls, they're just able to hop in, and all of them work so well together. And I love being able to just switch them all out and get them as much play time as I can.
That's great. Now, you mentioned having played Churchland before, a game that you won 6-0. I think it was just 6 days prior. So
Yep.
Did that give you a little extra confidence boost? Or as a coach, do you always sit back and pause like, maybe we come in a little complacent, we've beaten this team, we won't have our A game? What was kind of your mood going in as the coach with this matchup being a repeat just, within a week, 2 times in a week?
So I go in every single game thinking it's the same. I never think, oh, there's a harder team, there's a less harder team. I go in with the same attitude to my team. I'm always like, hey, girls, let's go out. Let's do the same thing we always do. Let's work hard. Let's finish the game. Let's finish strong. Let's not worry about who the competition of where. Let's just focus on us and play as a team and don't worry about the other team. And that always tends to work, because if they just focus on themselves and don't worry about the competition, I tell them nobody's better than you until you tell yourself that they are.
Savannah Putnam doing a great job in her first season at the helm of Jamestown High School. 10-8 overall. They're going to the state tournament where they'll match up with, I believe, either the Region 4B champion or runner-up. We'll try to get that bracket up here if I can share screen it correctly here during this edition of Field Hockey with Hatfield from the Plex. And Coach, to start out the year, I think you were just 1-5, maybe 2-6, but you played a good schedule, good competition.
Yeah.
District and out of conference. Tell me about that a little bit, how that prepared you for this run here that your team has made here. And hopes to continue making here as you go on to states?
Yeah, so we started out playing some really hard teams. We played Tab, we played Walsingham, we played Percosin, we played Grafton. But then we had a couple, we started getting our rhythm. We switched up our whole formation and our lineup, and the girls really started to click. So we knew immediately when we saw that lineup and they started to click, we knew that lineup was going to be our lineup for finals, states, and the certain drills we do and our certain set routine that we do really, and the consistency works us up to states. And I really believe that consistency can help us get there.
Let's chat about you for a moment. Your background as far as playing days, college, what drew you to Jamestown High School and this opportunity, how it came about?
So actually, I grew up playing field hockey. I played in club. I played in high school. I played all throughout. I started coaching really young. My mom actually got me into coaching. And my husband actually is my assistant coach. But I also am the founder of Adult Field Hockey. So last year I was with Toanna Middle School, and then I saw an opportunity. Somebody messaged me, and they were looking for a coach all over for Jamestown High School. And they were like, hey, would you be interested in this? And I'm like, okay, what team would it be, JV or varsity? And they're like, well, we're looking for somebody for both. And myself, I've always been wanting to run like a big program, having a lot of players. So they were like, both is open. And I was like, okay, I would love to be the head JV and varsity coach. So they interviewed me, and they thought it would be a great fit. And now I'm running the whole program at 22 years old. So, and we're going all the way to state. So, and these girls are amazing. So I really believe they are doing something.
That's so awesome. And you mentioned your husband being on your coaching staff. So I imagine even when you go home, you can't get away from field hockey. That's got to be a lot of the conversation, correct?
Oh, yeah. There will be times that we're staying up to like 2 a.m. planning for the next practice, stressing about the game, stressing about the week. But it's always good to have that conversation at home because you can look at things and sum it up and all that. Think of things that you're not on the field, and just to be able to rewatch everything.
For you, as you jumped into this as a first-year head coach, who did you use as a sounding board for some advice? Did you go to anybody that you played for, or some other coaches around the area, family members? Who did you turn to as you embarked on this journey? Because you've done it quite well here in year one, and I know it's now setting an expectation and a standard for Jamestown field hockey moving forward. But who did you go to as you began this whole journey?
I would go, I would go to my mom, since she got me into coaching when I was really young. And then also my first coach, Brad Jeffrey, he's actually the coach at Peasley Middle School, and his daughters play for Gloucester High School. He was my first coach, and he was amazing. So he really helped me and kind of gave me the background of and I fell in love with field hockey, and he really helped me do that. And he was a wonderful coach. So he has definitely guided me through the way, and he's always there supporting, and he will pick me out of a crowd, and he's always been there to support me.
Just this whole Hampton Roads area, as you know, Savannah's got a rich history of field hockey. You look at the teams that are always competing for championships. We touched on some of the Bay Rivers like Putcosin and Tab. Cox has got the record for Virginia high school state championships in the Beach, and the Beach has got a great tradition. And we see it year-round at the Plex here in the Regional Training Center with all the different events for field hockey. What does that do for these young ladies that aspire to play this game at the highest of levels, be it in college or perhaps even beyond that have these aspirations and dreams? It's got to be a really neat thing to see what this area has done, be it locally, nationally, statewide, and historically. It's got to be really encouraging and inspiring, would you say, for the young ladies out there, including someone on your team?
I really think it's inspiring. Field hockey has really grown in this area, even in the past couple months. These teams, the Williamsburg teams especially, us, War Hill, Lafayette, Walsingham, Bruton, we have all really grown, and we are starting to keep up with these other teams. And I just think the field hockey community is growing so much that by next year, all of these girls are going to be so good, and it's going to keep growing, and it's going to be even better. And I love growing the sport, and I can tell a lot of coaches are trying to grow the sport, and the kids are loving it. So I say every opportunity that everybody's putting out there is great, and I love it.
A couple more minutes here with the head coach of Jamestown High School Field Hockey, Savannah Putnam, our guest on Field Hockey with Hatfield from the Plex. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also watch it online through our 757 Sports Talk X feed on Twitter or on virginiapreps.com and the Facebook page with the Regional Training Center. Coach, and I'm going to share here in a second. I'm going to try to go through these brackets to see if you can help me out with some of the teams that are coming up here for 4A and 4B, maybe not so much 4C and 4D, but as you look at this group this year, it's such a young team you mentioned. What do you like most about them? Because it feels like you can build something here even beyond this 2023 season. What's made them so special to you?
I say their personalities and their passion for field hockey. I have girls that will go out there, and if they miss a ball, they will take it to heart. They will go over and they will be very upset, but that shows me that they are passionate about the game and they put every little thing into the game. There are girls that are trying to get recruited, trying to go to college already at the freshman age, and I see them go out there and they scream their heart out when they chant, and I see they give this sport their all, and this is all they look at, and I don't even know what to say because these girls are awesome.
That's great. Now let's look at the brackets. I'm going to attempt to share screen this right here properly here as we'll look at what we've got going on here for the bracket for 4A. As I'm showing here on the regionals, this might be the wrong bracket here as I'm showing you. Wait, this is the VHSL site here. So you're obviously taking on the opponent here, which you can touch on in a second with Gloucester. But in 4B, as I'm going back to that here through the Max Preps page that the VHSL has up here for you, you've got looks like Atlee taking on Powhatan in the championship there. I know Atlee's got a history, a rich one, of competing for championships. So Atlee Powhatan, the winner of that gets to host the runner-up in your region. The loser has to go travel to the champion. 4C, if I'm showing it right here, has got they got their semifinals still going on with Cortland, Orange County, as well as Spotsylvania Chancellor. And then 4D, you're looking at Loudoun County and Loudoun Valleys. Both Loudoun County a winner 6-0 over Dominion, Loudoun Valley 2-1 over Woodgrove. So there you go. Hopefully I shared that right, and it didn't look like I'm a complete fool here as I went through it here. But Coach, give me kind of your assessment of what you see in Class 4 with this tournament bracket, because you're one of the final 8, the Elite 8, if you will.
Yeah. I say right now it's very exciting. Of course, we're getting ready. We have practice today on Halloween, even though it's raining, but we're getting ready. The girls are excited. They are really getting ready. I really think after we go tomorrow, we're going to do great tomorrow. And then once we get to states, we're going to reach a level that's really going to push the athletes in a different way they've never been pushed. And some of the girls know where we're going to be playing, so that's going to be beneficial to them. And I'm really excited for the seniors, too, that get to go this far on their last year as well. So I really think if we take this time to prepare for finals and states, that we can come out on top.
Well, your goalkeeping play has been rather sharp here the last 4 games. You've got, I think, 4 straight shutouts with Churchland and Phoebus and Heritage and Churchland again here as you take on Gloucester. I'm always fascinated by, and this can be with fall, winter, spring sports, whether we're talking about, baseball, softball, basketball, field hockey. When you clinch that state berth and you have that region championship game, you want to win some hardware for the school and you want to play at home for the quarterfinal round. But how much has the attention for you and your staff, you and your husband, shifted towards that opponent for the state quarterfinals? Because that's the winner go home game. Is it a tricky balancing act, and how have you approached it here, and how are you approaching it?
I think it's fine. I mean, usually everything goes good, and our journey has been great, and I think it's awesome.
So no secret's going to be giving away how much time you spend on the 4B teams as opposed to Gloucester coming up. You're playing it like a wily veteran there. I like that.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, before we let you go, let anything you want to shout out as far as the school, the community, the fans, and any of your young ladies. I know you got so many underclassmen. Any of them, as far as seniors, getting some looks for the next level that you could maybe pass along to us that are maybe looking at playing the sport beyond this year.
We have some really wonderful athletes. Campbell Rudders is a senior. She's wonderful. She's our center forward. She is a very smart athlete. I say she's going to go very far in her academics and her career. and also one of our defenders, Bailey Fairhart. She's also a defender, and she's a senior as well. And I know she wants to go play club for college. So I think those two seniors really stood out. And I really think these girls are getting ready for tomorrow and states. And I know that they're ready, and it's going to be great.
Well, it should be a lot of fun for Coach Savannah Putnam in her first season at the helm as the Jamestown Eagles are headed to the state playoffs, 10-8 overall, and they're not done yet. They got the Gloucester Dukes going out there. Check out that matchup. Support those two teams and those hardworking young ladies as they play for a region title, then go on to the state playoff to represent the 757 area code on the grandest of stages. Coach, this was fun. All the best to you and your team moving forward, and we look forward to catching up and following the progress here as you try to chase that state championship trophy.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, and we are so ready.
It's Coach Savannah Putnam, first year at the helm for Jamestown. They're making some history this year, and they're not done trying to get 3 more wins in the state playoffs. But first up, the region championship against the Gloucester Dukes in the 4A final coming up at 7 o'clock on Wednesday night, November the 1st. We'll take a time out and come back with more and put the finishing touches on this episode of Field Hockey with Hatfield. Keep it tuned right here to our Virginia Beach Sportsplex YouTube channel and all the things we got going on for you right now. We'll hear from a couple of our sponsors.
Okay, who here has reached peak fall?
Peak what?
Peak fall!
I am wearing plaid.
And I'm wearing a cardigan.
I guess I am eating snickerdoodle cookie dough.
And I am eating a pumpkin pie blizzard.
The new DQ Fall Blizzard menu has reached peak fall. Pumpkin pie, snickerdoodle cookie dough, and more. They are back!
I just love fall.
Apparently we all do.
Oh, they did it! Peak fall achieved! DQ, happy tastes good.
And we're welcome back to not the Hash. I was going to say On the Hash with Hatfield. That's our football podcast that comes your way each and every Thursday. We'll have that for in a couple days for all you football fanatics out there. But right now it is field hockey taking center stage on this edition of the pod. Episode 9, I think it is. We thank Savannah Putnam, head coach at Jamestown, for being so kind for coming on the show. One more look at the Jamestown ladies there. They're celebrating going to states. Got to take on Gloucester coming up in the region championship. Let's get to that real quick before we get to our Giardino Chicken Parm Player of the Week. We were going through the brackets earlier for Region 5A, Region 6A teams across the 757 area code, and those that are going to be making their presence felt in the state playoffs. But let's do some looks at the Class 4 teams as far as those that are going to be in contention for the state championship. And let's look at, as we go back to the Virginia High School brackets, again, Class 4. And you can find these on the VHSL website, vhsl.org, and they have the links to Max Preps. You see the quarterfinals, C1 hosting D2, A1 hosting B2, B1 hosting A2, D1 hosting C2. All the teams from the 757 area code are in A. And then you have 5B has those schools we touched on earlier. Your Maury, your Nansemond River, your Menchville, your Woodside. But as we look at Class 4 now, and we look at things that are taking place there when it comes to the regional rounds of the playoffs, we go back to the regional brackets. So those that want to find this info, you can see how we're doing it right here for you. Region 4A, you're looking at Gloucester, Jamestown. That's the championship matchup, 7 o'clock, as we talked about with Coach Putnam. Region 4B, who are the teams that are going to be in the mix there? We talked about it earlier, Atlee and Powhatan. But let's give you a little quick look at 4C and 4D. We didn't do that with her as in depth. You have Cortland and Orange County. You got to watch out for Cortland. They are really, really good. Had the bye. Chancellor has been in the mix before for state championships. And then in 4D, it's Loudoun County and Loudoun Valley. I think Loudoun County is the prohibited favorite there. But let's go down to the other brackets, 1 through 3, Region A. You're looking at, obviously, it's Tab, who beat Grafton. They're going to take on Pocosin, who overcame the deficit against York. Those 4 are all going to go. The third place game is Grafton and York, and that's to decide the seeding for who is the 3 and who is the 4 seed coming out of that region. So then you have 3B, the quarterfinals and the semifinals now getting to the finals. Meridian is undefeated, looking like a really, really strong team that could keep tab from achieving that record they're trying to get by next year of the most consecutive wins in VHSL history that Cox had in the 1990s. Western Admiral is no slouch either, but you don't want to end up having to play Meridian in the semis or the quarterfinals because they are mighty strong. They did beat Maggie Walker just by a sliver, 1-0. Another matchup coming up here tonight with Western Albemarle and Fauquier. So if I was to project ahead as we stop the sharing now, how many state champions we get from the 757 area code, I think we'll get Norfolk Academy on the private school side of things. Seems to be a sure thing. I don't know that we'll get one from Class 6. I would think somebody from Northern Virginia has a great chance. Oakton's been ranked all year long nationally. So I'll keep us from getting one in Class 6, though. We certainly have 2 teams that have great chances with Grassfield and Western Branch to make some noise and advance to the semifinal round, I do think, in Class 6. Class 5, I'm going with the winner of Cox FC. I think they could have a matchup 3 in the state finals, by the way. So I think that's a flip a coin game. It could be I could see Cox win the region championship and then FC maybe get them in the state finals or vice versa here. And then in Class 4, I like Gloucester's chances, although you do have to look at Cortland and Chancellor as teams that could certainly get there and win the whole thing when it's all said and done. So that's what it's looking like there on the field hockey scene when it comes to those around the 757 and their chances. Again, like, share, and subscribe to everything we got going for you at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. It'll be with soccer, lacrosse coming up in the spring, the field hockey action through the finals, and the football action through the state championships that'll take place at UVA, Liberty, and out in Salem in December. It's time now for our Il Giardino Chicken Parm Player of the Week. And Il Giardino offers veal, chicken, pasta, vegetarian, and pizza creations that are all taste sensations. All of their sauces are made from scratch, and every item is made to order. Add the lively sounds from the expanded piano bar and lounge, and it's no wonder why Il Giardino is such a popular local spot. And congrats to this week's Chicken Parm Player of the Week, Menchville's Ella Elliott, the senior with 6 goals. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6. Like I did with the LeBron James he did in his Miami Heat days. And we heard earlier, by the way, earlier this year from Lizzie Adams of Norfolk Academy that Mary Werkheiser is the GOAT, not LeBron. Not MJ, not LeBron. It's Mary Werkheiser at Norfolk Academy. Hard to dispute that right now with how they've performed this year, number 1 in the nation. But anyhow, this week's GOAT for Player of the Week, though, is Ella Elliott for Menchville. She had 6 goals as Menchville is now a step closer to the state tournament. They got to take on Nansman River coming up to open up their playoff matchup in November. She was a first-team All-Peninsula District All-Region performer a season ago and was also second-team All-Tidewater the year before, I think it was, as a sophomore in 2021. So congrats to Ella Elliott. She is our Il Giardino Chicken Parm Player of the Week. If you want to see more, including a complete menu with Il Giardino, hours of operation, when they open, when they close, go to Il Giardino, that's ILGIARDINO.com. Also give them a call at 757-422-6464. That's 757-422-6464. They're located at 910 Atlantic Avenue in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And tell them that Matt Hatfield from the Field Hockey with Hatfield podcast, as well as Chuck Thornton from Hometown Sports Productions, sent you their way. We appreciate their support of all the local youth sports going on here across the 757 area code. So next week we'll have some state playoff action for all of you, and we're going to wind this thing down here real shortly. So again, I want to thank all the coaches, players, athletes out there. We'll do it again next week here as we talk to you from the Plex Field Hockey with Hatfield right here each and every week. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel with the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. We'll talk to you next time, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your sports week and a happy Halloween. Only treats, no tricks, folks.